Now, Anna, this grave is quite special, isn't it?
Well, it is. Emma Isabel was Malcolm's mother, but my great aunt, and she grew up in country Australia, so at Bringenbrong in New South Wales, and she married William Chisholm in St Paul's Cathedral in Melbourne in 1890. Must have been one of the first weddings in the cathedral, or one of the early weddings, and of course, with Malcolm being the first to die in the First World War, Emma Isabel, she was the first of, well, over 60,000, I would think, probably well over 60,000 other mothers who were left grieving sons, and in many cases more than one son. And in a way, it's a memorial to a mother's grief. She was very lucky because the family were in London at the time, and it wasn't so far for her to come and see where her son died. For other people, they couldn't afford to leave Australia. They never saw their sons' resting places, or their husbands or fiancés.
And she made an even bigger sacrifice, didn't she, after she passed away herself?
Well, she did, because she wished to have her ashes interred here near Malcolm. I think she must be one of the only ones who has actually been fortunate enough to do that. I guess it's special for that reason. But the other person that's worth mentioning in this regard is Vera Deacon, who actually set up, I think through the Red Cross in Australia House in London, an organisation which helped relatives trace their lost beloved ones, and then after the war she helped them organise their trips to the battlefield to see where their sons were lying.
Anna, do you think there are too many other mothers of young Australians who died in the First World War that may rest with their sons here in France?
No, I don't think so.
So this is a very, very special story, isn't it?
Well, it would have been one. Well, she died in 1928, I think. And presumably there were mothers, of course, that probably died a lot earlier. As far as I know, she's one of the few to have her ashes brought back to the cemetery.
But what a wonderful thing to be lying here with her son in this cemetery. She now lies in rest with him as well.
Well, you would think so, you'd hope so, but so. This is as close as it would be to finding peace.
And it's wonderful to be here. How do you feel about being here today and seeing family gather around the grave and memorialise William?
I think it's absolutely wonderful, because we're actually seeing not only our generation but the next generation.
And it's important, isn't it, that next generation?
It's terribly important. And the other thing is that we've all been brought here by George's portrait of Malcolm Chisholm, and it's brought us all together. It's given a face to Malcolm's story, and in a way it's brought his story into public focus. But not only that, it's given him his individuality back and his dignity back, and that's what I think is vastly important.
And you're hoping that a relationship between the school here in Leigh-Neil Cambrithi and Corryong will be able to be developed, so that that younger generation that you spoke about will be able to continue this memory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's actually very important, because it just seems that humanity, unless you study history, they don't learn the lessons of history. And we're seeing so many mistakes being repeated in our lifetime, and one would like to see some of them being avoided in future.
Well, I tell you, congratulations for a wonderful initiative and being part of. And I know George is flattered by the fact that he spoke to you and you were able to tell him everything. And he's only known this story for under a year. But to be able to have a portrait here and to have you part of it all is just wonderful. So thank you so very much for being part of it.
It's really a pleasure, and it's been George's portraits that have really brought into focus the relationship between two communities.
Well, let's hope that this example we might be able to find some more
I hope so.
where
I
a
hope
similar
so.
situation has occurred that we may not know at the moment, but it
Exactly.
probably does exist.
But once I think you show one example, then other people come forward, and that's how more history is recorded. And I think that's vitally important. It gives so many people their story back.
Yep,
And
that's
what
so
we
important.
need.
So
Yes,
important.
Yes.
Anna, thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.